Okay guys, I know it's the end of day one, but I have a very awesome guest right next to me. How is Comic-Con so far?
I'll only talk if you guys yell loudly back at me. Can you hear me through this one? Does that go through? Yes. Oh, I have to be close. Hi guys, my name is Ray Chase. I'm a voice actor in Los Angeles. I do a lot of roles that I see cosplayed right in front of me. I play Noctis in Final Fantasy 15. There you guys. Roy and Alphonse and Fernand in Fire Emblem. Pori Pori Prisoner in One Punch Man. Eve in Nier Automata. A whole bunch of other stuff. I received a t-shirt that has all my roles on it from a fan named Keaton. You can check this t-shirt out afterwards.
And my name is AJ. I am from Magazine Entertainment, and we are the hosts for this panel. And for those of you who may not be so familiar with us, we are a full-service post-production facility located in beautiful Burbank, which in this kind of traffic can be 5 hours away, depending on what time we leave. And then we are known for, we do a variety of things. We do digital distribution, subtitling, trailer editing, sound design and mixing for some of your favorite shows currently on air. Stuff like Spider-Man 2017, Guardians of the Galaxy, Lost in Oz, which is on Amazon. And then for those of you who watch Tsunami, there's Hunter x Hunter, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and starting August 18th, Diamond is Unbreakable. Starting. Woo, yes. Cheer if you hear something you like. I see a ReZero cosplay over there. You did that too.
Remy's back there, yeah.
Remy's Casserole. And yeah, so that's us. So just to show you guys a little bit about some of the shows that we do, I do have a little video. Let me pull that right up. And let me learn. This is who we are. And definitely, if you're interested in any of the shows that you saw during our reel, we will have this slideshow playing. It has some of our social media information on. Definitely feel free to give us a follow, like. Sometimes we'll be streaming stuff. Some of the fun stuff that goes on at those studios, so definitely check it out if you're interested. But enough about us. Hello, Ray.
Hello, AJ.
How are you?
I'm doing really well. This is my first ever time as an industry person at San Diego Comic-Con. I was here 2 years ago to meet up with Square Enix because a game called Final Fantasy 15 was coming out that year. But I was not allowed to talk about it. So what we did instead was me and Arden Azunia, played by Darren Paul, Square had a go-kart set up, and we just rode in go-karts for the entirety of the convention, and it was really fun.
That sounds like the best kind of Comic-Con experience.
Yes, when we met people, we said, oh, we're just actors, we couldn't do anything. But Darren would always say, but please play the game. You might be interested in who you find. And nobody knew what the hell he was talking about. It was great.
So one of the reasons why we usually do this panel is because we want to talk a little bit about kind of how you got into the business, where you started, so that if there are people in the audience who are interested in voiceover and the cool things that you do, maybe they might, look into it as a possibility. How many people here are interested in voiceover? Ooh.
Wow, this is a real panel.
This is a real panel.
You guys, this is the place to do it. Voice acting is a really, really fun job. I highly recommend it to anybody. It's one of the most dynamic jobs you can have in terms of the number of different characters that you can play and the amount of different types of jobs that are out there. From any day, you're doing 3 or 4 sessions all at different places. When you're an on-camera actor, you don't have that kind of freedom and flexibility. So that's one thing that I really enjoy about it. So I'm glad you guys are all here. This is the first step to becoming a voice actor, is come to the Ray Chase panel in room 11. This is the first time that it's available, so congratulations. You're all on the right path.
So if we have someone else next year, we'll have to make sure that Ray is also here as well.
Yes, only I am the gatekeeper, yes.
Let's take a couple steps back and just talk about how everything started. So you're from New Jersey.
I'm from New Jersey. I grew up in, my family's very New Jersey. I have a slight New Jersey accent, which comes up every once in a while. And I moved to Las Vegas when I was about 6 years old, and that's where I call home and really grew up. Came out to Los Angeles for school at USC, and then went straight into bartending, and that was a good.
Voice actor job?
Yes, I was an SAT tutor, a bartender, and I worked as an usher at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in Los Angeles. I got to see a lot of free shows, which was really fun.
At one single point, how many part-time jobs or different jobs were you juggling at a time?
Three was it. Yeah, well, no, because I was a bartender at two places at the time. The Spare Room in Los Angeles and a place called Elements in Pasadena. The Spare Room's still around. It was a bowling alley in Hollywood. Really fun place.
Considering you were juggling so many things, though, were you still taking classes outside of that, or what was your method into finally dropping those or I don't know, dropping, but going into?
Yeah, I was always doing stuff online on Voice 123, those casting websites where you pay to play and you say plosives into the mic. I'm very conscious of this. Pee every single time. The secret, does this help? No, it makes it much worse. I'll do it like this. Voice 123 is a really great place to start. You have to pay a fee in order to get in, but you do get paying jobs. And it's a really good way of finding out if you're doing really well. But there's only so far that it can take you. I had to go meet flesh and blood people and make it work. And I started doing commercials. I was the voice of Coke Zero for about 3 years. And it happened because I was at my bartending job. I had 2 months of money saved up, and I said, at the end of this 2 months, I have to book something so I can no longer be a bartender. Because I was actually kind of having fun being a bartender. It's a fun job. But at the end of the 2 months, I booked Coke Zero, and then it was a good 3 years of auditioning and being at an agency and nothing really happening. That suddenly I got into audiobooks. I did 200 audiobooks in a 3-year period.
200 audiobooks.
It was insane. You do not choose what audiobooks you read. So it can sometimes be a painful proposition. I have done erotica, set in, I've done zombie apocalypse in Australia erotica. The Flesh series, please check it out. What else? And I even did textbooks, which are not fun to narrate.
What kind of textbooks are you?
One was on Fibonacci, and so it was lists of numbers. And whoever bought that audiobook or used their Audible credit, I pity you so much. It's just lists of numbers. And I did that for a while. Then I met a good friend who you might know as the One Punch Man, Max Middleman, who we both went to college together. We didn't meet in college. We met at our agency together. And we were both wallflowers at an agency party, and we got to know each other. And we said, let's go do stuff. And I was spending all of my time in a booth by myself, a 4-foot by 4-foot whisper room, doing these audiobooks. And he said, no, man, you got to get out and go meet people. And Bang Zoom was one of those places where I first started to seek out auditions and try to get stuff. And you and I started at about the same time, which is pretty cool.
Yes. I remember that audition actually pretty well. Because Ray is one of the most patient people you'll ever meet. Something like the studio was booked and he had to wait something like 2-3 hours in order to do
for an open audition, yeah. Doing ADR to picture. I took your Adventures in Voice Acting class, and Tony Oliver, the teacher, taught me one thing that really helps, and I've never forgotten. I still do it in all my sessions. Every loop is you count. You keep one finger on down, and you count down the beeps on your hands. 1, 2, 3, go. And I do that every single time. For some reason, it makes it a lot less nerve-wracking to get your timing perfectly right when you count it down on your fingers. I don't know why, but that worked out really well for me.
Well, good. I'm glad that Tony's classes were helpful.
Absolutely.
Tony is a wonderful director.
Yes, he is. He does Hunter x Hunter, he does the JoJo series, really good guy to work with, yeah.
So talking a little bit more about your transition from video games into, well, at least with us, into a little bit more characters, I'd like to ask you a little bit more about your process in creating characters for let's say for example, video games versus original characters versus anime characters which are already established in another language. What is your approach to those different types of characters?
It really changes depending on like what your specs say, because sometimes you have things that say we are looking for natural cinematic performances. I did a show for Netflix called Be the Beginning with you guys, and they were specifically looking for, do not want it to sound like an anime. But sometimes you never say, the sides never say, please make this sound like an anime, but you get the sense that like, okay, this is a shonen, we know what we're getting into, it's okay to be a little over the top for those kind of auditions. So it's always reading the specs and making sure that you know what you guys are looking for, and watching the shows. I mean, it is, you know, it's a blessing and a curse to have a lot of these anime be out already by the time that we audition, so the fans are usually familiar with the Japanese actors for a few years, but it gives us the opportunity to research the character before auditioning, and I really like that. It says, oh, what are the answers? How do you play this? Oh, there's the answers, thank you.
How often do you usually, let's say for example, you couldn't talk about it for what, 2, 3?
For 2.5 years, we had to keep that a secret, so yeah, that was a very long, it was a long time. But worth it. Keeping a secret is a very good thing once you're on the other side of keeping that secret.
NDAs are very important.
Absolutely, yeah.
I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about a few other characters. Can you talk about Pretty Prisoner?
Pretty Prisoner! I watched One Punch Man before, so I was very familiar with that. I watched the whole first season.
And it's awesome as well because you have such a wide range. Like you're able to still do multiple characters.
Right, yeah. It definitely helps being able to do as many characters as we can, for sure, yeah.
Is there a particular role that you would say was extremely challenging for you?
Eve in Nier Automata was a really hard one. That was a long, like 4-hour session, and he screams almost the entire time. And we didn't know what voice, we had recorded it like a couple of times because we were figuring him out. That was one of those games where you ask the director, what's this game about? And they go, I don't know, just say the lines. So we were figuring out, what does this mean? He's an android, but what does he know? And how deep are his feelings? And what does he sound like? And also, I really think they wanted him to sound like Noctis, but I wasn't able to tell them that I was Noctis, and so I was trying to be like, I don't think we should do the same voice, but I don't know why, but I don't want to do that. And so it was a weird, like, trying to communicate things without communicating things. So that way, yeah.
What about particular characters that you resonate with?
I have a USB-C charger. You do? You do, like on you and a thing? I forgot mine, and if I could charge mine, I'll give you a free anything, autographs, whatever you want. She said it first, we'll give her a chance. You know what's funny is when we were talking, we did a little pre-interview yesterday.
That was yesterday, yeah.
Whoa. And I realized we work all the time with each other, but we don't know each other very well. That's the other.
But no, this has been wonderful. I just want to go do like a rapid fire round.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna say the name of a character, a title that you've worked on, and then just say the first thing that comes to mind.
All right. I hope Voltron is I can talk about. That just came out. I play a guy named Lieutenant Lon. And Magi was the very first anime that I worked on with you guys. I played a guy, well, I did play 4 lines in Blue Exorcist, the movie. Fate Apocrypha, I love the Fate series. Fate Zero is one of my favorite animes ever. And to be able to play one of.
Can you talk about like maybe a weird thing besides those noodle slurping experience that you maybe had to do in order to get into character?
Well, actually, one thing I don't think I've ever said this at a panel. When I was doing Knocked, he gets poisoned, and we had to do specific, like him choking and coughing. And I said, screw it, I'm gonna try this out. And I inhaled water. I didn't swallow it. I literally made it go into my lungs and coughed it out. And it sounded awesome. I don't know if I would put myself in mortal danger, but it sounded really good. And so we did like 30 seconds of that, and then I never did it again. If Noct ever gets poisoned, which almost never happens in the game, which also sucks. It sounds pretty difficult. Yeah. Right, yeah, it almost never happens, yeah.
So, usually at these panels, we bring a few people who are interested in voiceover to come up and try a few scenes.
I'm excited. In fact, especially because like 90% of you guys are into this. This is great.
Thanks. So,
how do you choose?
How do we choose?
Well, hold on. Does my Samsung guy want, does he want to be a voice actor? Where'd he go?
Where's Samsung?
Do I get to keep his chart?
For me! Ah! Then some more flashing things.
Alright! When his sweater gets ripped. It's the one that his boyfriend, his nameless boyfriend, made for him. It's his favorite thing in the world, and suddenly it's in tatters. This is the last slide right here. Oh, sorry, there's all this weird lingo that I don't even notice. There's all of these, this means OM means open mouth, MNS means mouth not seen, and on to off means his mouth is on screen and then it doesn't matter, then it's not seen. So none of that matters for your audition.
That's more about the
Exactly, yes, the ADR stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, and then play each beat as if you are calling it to Thanos. You're fighting the worst possible villain that you could fight, and enjoy those lines. This is your time to shine and possibly move up in the estimate game. All right, give me another round of applause. Here it starts.
I fancy both of those lovelies. Then you show up out of nowhere and ruin them. Now that Genesis passed me, I'm the lowest in my class rank. But I am still Class S, unlike those two that you defeated. I'll start things off at half power, to gauge how much you can take. Ah! Oh! Ah! Ah! You made me rip the hand-knit sweater that my boyfriend made for me! Ah! Ah!
Yeah! That was good. I felt it. And you are in it. You are red. You are dripping sweat. That's putting your all into it.
I'm dripping sweat regardless. It's very hot in San Diego.
Thank you. Give him a round of applause. We're going to do another character. Name?
Alina.
Elena. Give her another round of applause. So Elena, we are going to do a script from a show called Anohana, the flower we saw that day. And you will be playing the part of Anjo. Are you familiar with this show?
Yeah.
This was a Bang Zoom show that we did. It was an Aniplex show. It's like a Your Lie in April, lots of crying, very dramatic, slice of life anime sort of thing. So the more realistic, the more, the opposite, don't do that. Oh, wait, it's different now. Oh, don't do Forever Prisoner. As naturalistic as you can. So you are Anjo. It's one page, right?
It's just one page.
Okay, great. I have two. Oh, and then you'll play soon.
Eventually.
Dramatic. So all of you guys understood all of that. I know we're all Japanese speakers. This is a scene where Yukiatsu is my character who I played in the show. He's kind of the egotistical but talented guy. He's talented and he knows it. And you're kind of, I don't know, Anjo's kind of, she doesn't have a type. She's just normal.
She wants to, she's secretly geeky but doesn't want anybody to know. She wants to fit in with the cool girls.
Right, fit in with the cool girls. Right, that's the whole thing.
She's a little bit on the outsider. She easily flustered.
And in this scene, the two of us are sharing a ride home, and I just asked you out of the blue, want to go out sometime, and blushing, let the blushing commence. So go for it, Elena. Let's get a round of applause to start us out. You want to go out sometime?
Don't you still like Midna? I mean, all that stuff that happened out in the woods.
Well, sure I do. Yeah, huh? What do you see in him anyway?
What do I what do I see anyway? Can you just assume that I like somebody, okay?
Granted, he was charismatic, not to mention athletic and good at school, but those days are long behind him now.
So maybe he's not the guy he was before, but he's good at heart, deep down. If he combed his hair and stopped frowning all the time, he'd kind of look like that one guy from Hey, Say Jump!
I get it.
Do I like him? I don't know. I guess there's just something about him.
Nice. Good job. That's really good. So that's not your normal voice, right?
No, this is my normal voice.
That's your normal voice. It is important to have range, and that sounded great. You definitely sounded like a 16-year-old confused high school girl. Very, very good, and great job playing the embarrassment and not knowing how to feel about this very pressing, sudden situation that comes out of nowhere. So I'd like to play with those levels a little bit. That at first, in the scene, you're just totally, it's what the heck is going on? Suddenly, this guy who I know, but I know he's not into me, suddenly says he's into me. So your first couple lines are doing that. Then when you are going to line 8 here, we are talking about Yadami. And when you're thinking about him, you're thinking, well, actually, he's a pretty good guy. So I think fall in love with him a little bit more, that you're less embarrassed and you're really giving him a shot and thinking it through. And the name of the band is Hey, Say Jump. You want to go out sometime?
But don't you still like Menlo? I mean, all that stuff that happened in the woods.
Well, sure I do.
I can't do something like that. It's just.
Yadami, huh? What do you see in him anyway?
What do I see in him? Hey, you can't just assume that I like somebody, okay?
Granted, he was charismatic, not to mention athletic and good at school, but those days are long behind him now.
So maybe he's not the guy he was before, but he's got a good heart. Deep down. If he combed his hair and stopped frowning all the time, he'd kind of look like that one guy from Hey, Say Jump.
I get it.
Do I like him? I don't know. I guess there's just something about him.
That's really good. She can be contacted through her agency for booking appearances. Great job, really, really nice, very spectacular. Taking notes is 90% of our job. There's the ability to do the voice acting and stuff, but it's able to give a lot of different reads. And what Elena did great was she gave totally different reads each time, which is great. It's definitely a huge part of being a voice actor. What is this? Excel, give a round of applause. Excel, this is from a show called Be the Beginning, which not many people, has anybody seen it? Oh, some people, that's great. Oh, very cool. You're familiar with it, so you might know the scene. You're memorized already? Let's go. So this is a scene, I play Keith Flick, who's a Sherlock detective, kind of grumpy dude who looks like me, and Lily is this is kind of an upstart detective in her own right, and sort of has feelings for this grumpy guy who doesn't return any affection to her in any way. This is not the actual audition that we did for this show, right? We did the bun scene, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope I do okay.
I believe in you.
Okay, Excel, let's get started with a round of applause. That doesn't strike me as smart.
Smart doesn't always mean right. Sometimes being foolish is the answer. That's one of your lines, isn't it?
Damn you, Boris. Did he also give you my address?
He told me lots of things. He likes to talk. That man is old. He'll ramble on and on without even asking. But coming to see you today was all my idea.
Well, you can tell him this. Stop putting stupid ideas in your head. It's so annoying.
And here I thought you were going to be helpful. And I thought you were the only person on the planet who can untangle these confusing knots in my head. That's why I came here, Keith Flick. Talk to Jeannie, the genius.
Nice. Very cool. Oh, wait, you didn't watch the thing before. I jumped the gun. That's right. It seemed like you were getting the tone of it as we went on, that it was a hostile. Yes, okay. Let's take a look. Where it goes. I think she's very high energy to contrast with Keith's low energy. So yeah, play where you ended the scene at the beginning and then go even more.
Okay.
Great, thank you. All right, let's get started with another round of applause for Excel. Well, that doesn't strike me as smart.
Smart doesn't always mean right. Sometimes being foolish is the answer. That's one of your lines, isn't it?
Damn you, Boris. Did he also give you my address?
He told me lots of things. He likes to talk. That man's old. He'll ramble on and on without me even asking. But coming to see you today was my idea.
Well, you can tell him this. Stop putting stupid ideas in your head. It's so annoying.
And here I thought you were going to be helpful. I thought you were the only person on the planet who can untangle these confusing knots in my head. That's why I came here, Keith Flake. Talk to Jeannie, the genius.
Hi, Excel. Thank you very much. Here's Excel. Wait, you also get a present. You
I
get
have
something.
a copy of Arctic Adventure for you.
Oh, really?
Cheers. All right. Oh, you have the size up here. So this is what the size it looked like that came out. This is Noctis Lucis Kyla, or Noct for short.
Green fields and blue sky as far as the eye can see. Makes you forget there's a war going on. Always on the run to stay one step ahead. Never knowing where our next meal is coming from. Sleeping in cars, rented rooms, or out in the wild. And still, I don't miss my old life one bit. I just realized I never told you guys I appreciate you. Because I don't. No cover, no support, no exit? What could possibly go wrong? Who gives a shit about the speed limit? We're wanted men. Let's see how fast this baby can go.